Hey guys, welcome Muskie Road Rules podcast and Patreon. Guys, I'm glad that you could join us. You're probably saying, Greg, why haven't you done one of these in a couple weeks? And I will say, because it's summertime and everybody I talk to on here is fishing or doing stuff, and it just makes these really, really rough in the summertime. So I know we've talked about it before, but with my schedule and, with the heat this summer, everything has been, fishing super late, going super early, midday. It's kind of hard to get with guys. So yeah, we're gonna trudge through and keep this thing going, but the summer's going to be tougher, and that's just the way it is. And we'll get back to the weekly ones closer, sooner than you think, but more into the fall a little bit. And yeah, we'll get it going. But I would be remit. Well, before I go into that, let's say if you listen to us, you can find us on all of the podcast stations. You're going to find it Muskie Road Rules. You can always listen to us and the video form on Patreon. Patreon helps us out here, allows us to do more things. Go to patreon.com and search Muskie Road Rules and hit become a member. It's $8 a month, super easy. That is about a third. Well, no, that is a tenth of what some muskie baits cost. So you're doing good there, and you're doing a good deed, and I can buy a Snickers bar. So I do appreciate all the memberships. We're gonna have a drawing for the bucktails. Not on this one. It's going to be the next one. I just really never, kind of threw this one together. We found time to do it and everything. So, but before we get into our guest, our very important guest, I do want to say a little bit here. We had a kind of a blow to the muskie community for me. A very good friend of mine and someone that I've known for well over 20 years, since they started doing sports shows, an all-around great guy, Hans Mann. He's been on the podcast several times, and he passed away this week from some, surgery complications. And just want to talk a little bit about Hans. One of the funniest and absolute pleasures to be around. I mean, he was just a great, great guy. I met Hans. He was one of the founders of Red October Baits, did a lot of stuff there, the tubes. We wouldn't have Red October where it is today if it wasn't for Hans Mann. I know he stepped away from it to do his own fishing stuff and everything, but he was a huge, huge, huge part of that. I met them in 2005 actually 2004 at the Ohio Muskie Show. They had a booth right beside me. This was the first time I'd ever seen big tubes. And they were in what I loved in their booth, they had a single booth, is they had a picture cut out from a magazine of Britney Spears when she shaved her head, of a bald Britney Spears. And it was like right in front of their booth, and it was just randomly placed beside a bunch of tubes. And to me, I thought that was the funniest thing I had ever seen. I didn't even notice the baits. I just zeroed in on bald Britney. And as soon as I seen that, I struck up a conversation with him, and we were friends, 20 some years later. And I got to fish with the guys. We did a video together. I got to fish with Hans a couple times up on the St. Lawrence, and we just always had a blast. Always, just always had a really, really good time. Great personality. I mean, Hans was, not only his personality was larger than life, he was too. He was a big guy. And he just, I always say, for a guy that was like Hans, for a guy that was a bigger guy like Hans was, his agility, his movement in the boat, always fascinated me because he did play college football and was just uh, he was a good dude. I mean, he just really was a good dude, and it really kind of got to me this week when I heard that he had passed. I'd been talking to Mark from Red October and everything, and kind of learned the news, and it was and I know they're planning a celebration of life here soon. I don't know any of the details yet. I'm hoping I'll find some stuff out here pretty soon. But yeah, so if you're out there and you're fishing, give old Hans a wink. He'll talk to him. He's up there, and he always loved joking around, loved fishing, loved his family, Liz and the kids, and just a good dude. Fishing Buffalo Harbor quite a bit now, and caught some just absolutely giant fish out there as well. So, but just wanted to say that Big Hans was, I'm thinking about you, have been ever since, yeah, it's been a while. I talked to him in June, and he was still upbeat. I'm going to do, everything's going to be great. And yeah, so he went down fighting. So I got to give him credit there. But anyway, he would probably tell me now to shut up and move on. So that's what I'm going to do. But right now on the podcast, we have got the Iowa PMTT coming up, which I have to catch a fish in. And we have our friend on here, Mr. Ryan Becker from Iowa. Ryan, what's up, buddy?
Not too much. Just enjoying the morning and glad that we're talking fishing after it's been a scorcher this summer.
You guys, well, I can't say you guys have had a crazy hot summer. We've had a really, really warm summer here. July was pretty annoying, how hot it was, and the fishing I thought was pretty rough for the most part. How has Iowa been? I mean, did you get to fish any at all during that, or was it just too ridiculous?
No, I hadn't fished in Iowa until this last week since June 3rd. And I think we were able to fish till late June, but it was such a rough bite, like incredibly rough for whatever reason. Like March and April were lights out, and then it just progressively got worse in May, which the hours you would put in per fish, you could still catch them, but you had to work so much harder than normal years. For whatever reason, I don't know, a lot of our fish. Go ahead.
What was what do you think? Why was that? You can make something up. I'll believe it.
I mean, in my history kind of knowledge, like our fish didn't spawn and they just retained their eggs, like pretty much all of them. And to me, that just seems like it makes a harder bite because everything else lined up. The water temps were good. There was good weed growth starting. I mean, you could see a ton of fish, but getting them to bite is a whole different story.
So they were like hamsters. They just eat their young.
Pretty much. That's what they all say.
Brutal. They also say they lose their teeth in August, and I still stick by that when we don't catch one this month. Oh, they lost all their teeth. They're gumming them. That's the problem. That's why we didn't catch it. It's a gummer. So the summer, you guys were really, really hot, and before we started recording, you were kind of talking about on the lake, so like Spirit and Okoboji, which is where we're heading for the tournament next week. You said there's a dissolved oxygen buoy or some sensors out there that you could be making this up, and I don't care.
No. If you guys, when everybody's out fishing, if you look in the middle of the lake on Spirit, there's a couple, 2-3 buoys and then a huge tower. Well, that's where they get all their readings from, water temperature, and they can read top to bottom with that. And all the dissolved oxygen and everything that's going on. It just reads all sorts of stuff. There's a website for it.
Do you know the site?
I can get you the site. Yeah, it's in Tanner and I's text thread. I don't know it offhand, but
I'm sure you could Google search.
If you type in Spirit Lake water temperature, it's like the first or second one on there.
Okay, that's a
As
good
far as, yep.
good thing to know. And it reads to the bottom basically, or
Yeah. Yep.
oh, wow.
And here about, even 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, it was like 16 feet down was the same temperature as the surface. So
Oh yeah.
it was warm, but like I said before we started the pod, it didn't seem like the dissolved oxygen really. It was great all summer in the heat, so that's a plus.
Yeah, I don't understand the dissolved. I mean, I understand temperature. I can figure that out. But the whole dissolved oxygen level, I've always wondered, and I'm going to have to talk to a biologist and really, I'm sure them talking to me is going to be like
For sure, yeah.
trying to get a dog to roll over is what he's going to be doing talking to me. But I want to know how they figure that. I'm sure there's um I could probably just Google it, but I wonder if there's like an equation or something to find that dissolved oxygen level. Because on Lake of the Woods here, um, I have been trying. I really think I've been thinking too hard, and that never goes well for me. And I have all during July, I was like doing water temperature readings. I was doing um, I was, basically taking my Panoptics and I was just throwing it in the water, and my cable was like 10 feet, so I was doing readings down to 10 feet, checking different areas, doing temps in current areas versus temps in open areas, and doing all that. And I'm like, okay, all right, so water temp, this is where I want to be. This is what's going to happen. This is going to be good. And I had so many days where we could not catch shit. And I would go back in and talk to somebody at the bar and be like, oh, we got 3. What'd you catch him on? Oh, bucktail. What was the water temp? Oh. And I was getting ready to throw haymakers at a puppy. It was so frustrating in July, especially trying to do thermal readings and all that. And finally, at the end, I did my method I called fuck it, and just went and just started fishing bays. Didn't look at water temp. Didn't care, and I caught fish, and that really pissed me off because I started looking at the water temps that were in the bays, and I'm like, there's no way there should be a fish in here, and there was. And so that, yeah, so the whole water temp, what it, and how the thermal goes through, I'm still, it blows my mind. I'm still
It's
overthinking it.
it's
And
absolutely crazy. And like that, you were finding fish in the bays, and I would assume that had to do with, even though it was warm water, that had to do with better oxygen or wind pushing into those
sure.
bays the day
Oh, there
before.
was
And it's
no
like,
wind.
oh,
There was no
yeah,
wind.
okay. I mean,
It looked like porridge.
okay, yeah,
And so there had to be an oxygen thing going on in
for
there.
sure.
And it definitely made no sense. But I think Shield Lakes, and I'll always say this, Shield Lakes are the toughest lakes there are to fish. They
Oh,
are extremely hard. There's so many options, so many variables. They are the hardest lakes there to fish. That's why I moved up here. It was like my thing I wanted to do and get better, and it's happening, but it's that, oh my god, they'll throw you
oh
curveballs.
yeah. We were up there in early July or for our annual trip, and for sure, every single day is different. Like you start the
Mm-hmm.
new day, it's just fresh. Forget what yesterday was. You can check on it, but it's
How did
usually
you
different.
guys how did you guys do?
There was 3 boats, and we had 41 muskies. It lined up perfect because it was literally we went the 4th, July 4th through the 11th or whatever, and
Okay.
it was the week prior to that mega heat, so there was just tons of fish up shallow, just normal fishing like bucktails, topwaters, gliders were good, everything.
Okay.
It was awesome. So
Where did you guys what area do you guys fish?
we stay on Cedar Lake and fish Cliff and
Okay.
Peralt and all that stuff. So
Yeah. No, it was early July was pretty good. I mean, it was a good time to be up and everything. But when that mega heat hit, I mean, there were guys that did good. I will say there was guys that did good, but they were fishing very, very long hours, putting in 15 to 18-hour days and running a long way to cooler water. They were fishing a lot of big water
Okay.
sections that were cooler, and they were getting fish, but it would have been pretty rough to they earned them because they were
Yeah, for
doing
sure.
5 a.m. to midnight days. And it was during that, we had 3 days with heat indexes of over 100, many, many days in the 90s.
Yep.
And it was rough. Like right now, it's beautiful. Oh, it's so
Yeah.
nice outside. Right now, you actually need like a light rain jacket driving in at night because it's cooling down and it's water temps are right in that 70, in the heat of the day in the back of a bay, you might hit 74. But most time if you're just out fishing main channel, 72, and nothing overheat. Yeah, it's so nice. Highs in
Perfect.
the day where we're not even getting 75, 76, and it's no humidity. And yeah, no, it's been nice, and the fishing has been good, and the fish seem to love it. And so yeah, it's all puppies and rainbows. But let's talk about down there in Iowa. Now you're going to fish Okoboji and Spirit, correct?
Yeah. Yep. Just
Okay.
the standalone one.
Yeah.
So,
How long you been have you fished those lakes? I mean, you're a native Ioweean.
oh, yeah, since I started muskie fishing 19 years, 20 years ago, whatever.
Uh-huh.
I didn't fish them back then as much as I do now. I dabbled with them, but now I'll go, the last several years, I'll go there 4, 5, 6 times a year, especially in the fall when it gets pretty good. So,
Sure. What now those lakes, do you know any history on those lakes, Okoboji, Spirit, kind of how they got going or anything?
as far as like the muskie stocking and whatnot,
Yeah.
or just same deal. I think they started in the 70s, 80s. No, it might have been the early 80s, same as here in Clear, and just kind of stocked ever since. And they've had issues with losing fish down out of lower gar, and they got an electric fish barrier, so they've kind of struggled with that. It's gotten a little better, and then the last 3, 4 years, they've started really loading up, Spirit, and then a lot of those fish will go down into east and west. So then it kind of manages like good populations in all the whole chain. Kind of
Sure.
overloading Spirit so that when those fish leave, then there's still good amounts in east and west.
Yeah. 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 What what is, on those lakes, does Spirit still have the state record, or where's that from?
Yep, Spirit does.
Okay, that was the one that had a duck in its mouth.
Seagull or duck or crappie. I've heard several things. Yeah.
Nice. But it was a giant fish, correct?
Oh, it's huge. It was true to weight and true to length. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
52
What?
by whatever girth was 50.4 pounds or something.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So
That's an
like
absolute.
thyroid issue or something like those old Mille Lacs fish you guys used to catch.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've seen some of those. What is the now it had the one previous to that too, correct? I mean, so this lake has had some
Yep.
really big fish in it. And my old partner Tony, uh, he caught when we pre-fished it, we got a 51 there that jerked the rod
Yep.
out of his hand. And he had to dive on the floor to grab it, which watching that man dive is very, very funny. That was some athletic feat. But I mean, and the population of fish in there is pretty ridiculous too, right? I mean, there's a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
fish in there.
Yeah. It's so healthy, Outside of Clear, I would say it's the second most fish population, healthiest wise.
Yeah, because I mean, Clear Lake, we all got to fish it last year and got to see that, that thing's just loaded with them.
Yep.
And we've spent some time there on Okoboji and Spirit in the past, and that place always seems to throw out quite a few fish.
Yep.
So I've always seen that. The one thing I always tell people about, though, it's not the fishing, it's the boat traffic on
Oh,
Okoboji. What is the deal with the boat traffic?
it's this time of year is just absolute party town craziness. And they, for whatever reason, they got yachts, which there's no need for boats that big. It's not like Minnetonka.
No, it's this place that has, I mean, it's not that big. It's a couple thousand acres, and it's got, all this.
Diluted.
Nope, there you are. I see you.
Yep.
No,
Yeah,
it's
it's
just,
just for whatever reason it gets crazy, and there's no need for it. And it,
well, yeah,
I feel for
that
everybody that's gonna go
that
ahead.
one. It looks like it's called the Fish Shack, and it's a 40-foot floating bar.
Yeah,
Uh, that just drives around out there. Not well, I might add.
yeah, and
Um,
like 20, 30 boats can go tie up to it or something crazy and just get their drinks and
Oh yeah. Well, like I said, the last time we fished Okoboji, we were fishing the mouth of Miller Bay, or Miller's Bay, or whatever. I don't know what they were selling back there or what they were giving away, but my God, the line of boats that went by
yeah,
us. I mean, I had Tony in the boat, and that's usually good ballast. It wasn't good ballast. We
no,
were flopping and going. Oh, it was nuts. We caught a fish, and it was like catching it in the middle of St. Clair on a windy day. It was
jeez,
so nuts, but I don't know.
crazy.
It was definitely wild. How is things shaping up for the tournament? I know you guys, we had talked a little before. The water temp is definitely cooling down. We've cooled down a lot. What's it looking like there?
The water's definitely cooling down. Like I said, we're getting quite a bit of rain lately, which has helped immensely. Like it's dropped, in the low 70s, but then it's been calm, so it'll jump towards the end of the day. It'll jump way back up, but then the next morning it's fine. As far as the fishing, like our air temps are still super hot, and it just fish are all over the board. It seemed like, which is it just doesn't seem like we've had anything to really drive them to get going crazy yet. But with that being said, I mean, you go work your tail off, you're going to catch some fish. So
Yeah. What's the watercolor algae?
yeah, there's some parts of the lake that's like super clear, and then wherever the wind blown side is nice big balls of green algae floating. It's your favorite.
No, that'd be great. Put it on a cracker.
Yeah, it's
Um,
it's green in parts. There's no doubt.
No, I figured we'd probably see that. The rain and stuff, is the water coming up, or you've had so much of, evaporating or anything? I mean, is
Yeah,
the lake levels normal?
just I would say they're right at normal because it's
Okay.
not going over the spillway whatsoever. But it's close, but it's just not. So it's soaking up a lot, I think.
Okay. So how has the fishing been? I mean, how has it been this summer out there? If you haven't fished it much, is there other guys that have been out there working it? How has the fishing been? I'm not looking for secrets, but just
No,
kind of.
that's I mean, those guys shut down for a good month and a half as well with that heat. So there's not a ton to go off of, but they were having a really good spring too before the heat sounded like and um yeah, now that it's getting going again, I think
What's your thoughts on the tournament? Are you a Okoboji guy or are you a Spirit guy?
um that just depends. I won't be on West, I can tell you that. We might check out East, but that's same deal. You're gonna get it ain't gonna be the best weekend as far as pleasure boaters, I can tell you that, if it's 80
Yeah,
degrees. So we try and steer clear of that. So we'll see. Spirit probably, but still
yeah.
gotta we'll see.
What is what are some things to look for out there? Again, no secrets, but like what's something that you might I guess what I'm trying to say is what kind of weeds do you have in that lake? And then maybe just throw a nugget out if something, what's something that you might look for.
Well, this like when you wherever you put your boat in, and this year it's actually way crazier. You put in, drive all the way around the lake, come back to where you put in. So the 9-foot weed line, the whole thing is weeds. And that it's that all the way to shore. And then there's maybe a 2 to 3 foot trough in certain areas. Some areas it's all the way to shore weeds, but there's some areas where you can get an inside edge. I will say it seems like right now there's a ton of perch and all the big walleyes are out in the basin. And I do know those muskies out there love to roam the basin with those walleyes. So if we don't get a cold front, there's always going to be fish out there as well.
So is there a decent trolling bite on those lakes?
Oh yeah, there can be for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's spotty time of year, but I'm sure if you spent the time to figure it out, there's fish to be had trolling.
Sure. And what kind of weeds are in there?
A lot of junk pondweed. Coontail's crazy there this year, which makes it kind of annoying. There's cabbage mixed in with all that. There's still curly pondweed that never died off, which is kind of random. Usually that dies in the heat, but grass, all sorts of stuff. Celery weed,
Yeah.
you name it.
Well,
Everything. It doesn't have milfoil, which is good. So
yeah, the coontail is something I've been noticing up here on Lake of the Woods more and more. Every year I'm finding more and more coontail up here, and it grows deeper.
yep.
For some reason, it definitely comes out a little deeper on spots. You'll notice it on your graph under your boat, and if you throw something down there, it'll pull it up.
Yeah.
The weeds and stuff out there. Is there any other structure that you fish over there? Isn't there a little bit of rock?
Yep, there's rocks. There's a few like hidden rock piles, and then there's your like Buffalo Run, your main lake rock point, and then where the what would be the east side, Stony, Little Stony, and Big Stony, right there on the southeast north side of
Sure.
this whatever there.
Sure. What when you're out there and you're fishing these lakes up there, are you mainly just a weed guy, just looking for different weed spots and everything?
Yeah, I mean the weeds are definitely a huge key, but I'll just got to check everything out. Definitely rocks. I know they use those rocks. Like I said, the basin with the perch, and kind of look into that. But
Mm-hmm.
weeds are going to be the heavy game.
Yeah. How's Clear been this year?
It was phenomenal in March and April, like really, really good. And then for whatever reason, it just kind of tapered off. Like I said, once May started, it got really weird. You could catch them, but like I said, like you were saying, you'd have to put in 10, 12 hours to get 2-3 bites a day, maybe.
Yeah.
Definitely different.
What do you think the reason for that was?
I don't know. We tried to think about that, and on all the lakes, like Brushy down south of here was gin clear. Go out and fish there, and you'd maybe get a bite, but then you'd see 10, but you just couldn't get him to eat. And Tracy, who is a good buddy of mine, who I guide with, he spent the amount of hours he spent down on Brushy per fish was like, I would have just hung it up, to be honest. It was bad. So
what's Brushy? Is that another lake there in Iowa?
Yep. That's a small, like 780 acre lake, just an hour and 10 minutes south of here.
Okay. And is it a reservoir or just a?
It's essentially a reservoir. Just they flooded the creek system, and it just standing timber everywhere.
Okay.
It's a super cool lake.
Yeah, you said it's really clear.
Yeah, it can be like ultra clear, 20-foot visibility.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Those how many lakes are there in Iowa that have muskie?
Oh, there was 14, and then they added a few others here the last couple of years. I just short of 20 probably.
Oh, that's actually pretty good. I didn't
17,
realize
18, yeah. They stocked several here the last 3-4 years.
Yeah, I didn't realize there was that many. I just thought it was a handful. So, well, that's cool. It sounds like they're pushing to kind of get that going and get it more established. What has been so for you, and this is just because my mom is listening. What is one of your favorite ways to catch muskie in Iowa? Because I know that's what she's wondering.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to beat. I'm a bulldog guy, especially in like September. Oh, the whole year really, but September through ice up out here, especially. Just throw a bulldog, double dog. That's by far my favorite way, and one of the better ways too.
Yeah.
And then
So you
gliders. I'm a big glider guy. You know that.
that is so annoying. Why? How? Because gliders just piss me off. I don't know why. I think I think I'm inherently lazy, and I think about actually working a glider, and I'm going, I just don't want to do that. And plus, I think it stems from like probably fishing Mille Lacs and some of the Minnesota stuff early,
Yep.
and I threw a bunch of gliders, and I just had follows or nothing. So now in my head, I can't. I just don't want to do it. I always think I'm
Right.
not going to catch one, even though that 50-inch fish we got on Spirit was on a hellhound.
Yep.
Um, I so yeah, I don't even know what I'm saying right now. Why do you like gliders, and who hurt you?
I just, for whatever reason, our Iowa fish are obsessed with gliders. They like them the whole ice out to ice up. You can catch fish on gliders. So that's kind of always been with me. And then I just carry it wherever else I go. Obviously we won casts last year on gliders. This
Gross.
year, when we went to Canada, there was the tough days that were kind of struggling, and I pulled out a glider, and like, man, they were all over gliders up there. And I caught several fish, dumped a couple giants on them, see a bunch
What
of big fish. So
so what are your maybe top three go to gliders? What do you like?
7.5-inch Phantom is number one, and then I would go to the heavyweights, or not heavyweights, the Twisted Suckers. You remember those that Mark
Yep.
Dressel used to make? That
Yep.
would be my number two, and then probably a Hellhound, whether it's
Okay.
squirrely or straight. They're both really good. So,
So on the Phantoms, are those the squirrely ones, or you like
yep,
the
nope, all squirrely. I run
okay?
a little bit of straight, but not much.
Yeah, yeah. What how do you like to work? People work glide baits differently. How do you like to run them?
Just constant, and then I'll throw in like pauses or like good couple side kicks fast, and then hang it, and then just go back to working just a straight cadence.
Okay. So what so you're not moving the boat super fast, correct?
No,
Or you
no, I
okay.
try and point sevens the top end. I would go with glider.
Yeah. Are you a big long cast glider guy, or do you like
Yes.
medium? Oh, you
Nope.
like long cast.
Yes. Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
So, which doesn't always benefit for if they eat way out there. You definitely lose those a lot more, it seems like. But
Sure. How fast are you working them? Are you a nice medium cadence, or are
I'm
you trying to burn it?
no, I would say I'm more medium. Yep. And I'm
All
not
right.
ultra slow. I don't do the ultra slow unless I know there's like a really big one in an area or something and I'm picking it apart. But otherwise, I don't go slow.
Okay. All right. That's good to know. Making mental notes here. What are some of your favorite colors in glide baits? Is there like are you a color guy?
Red and white is probably my best colored Phantom. The grossest
Red,
color ever. Everybody hates
red,
red, I know, but for whatever old red with a white tail is super good. And then dark walleye is really good.
dark. So
Same
red,
pet.
are you talking red like white with like a daredevil, white with a
No,
redheaded?
oh, it's got like a solid red back, and then the sides got like a red and white pattern to it, or most like a white pearl. It's not straight white,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah,
the belly is white.
yeah, yeah. All right. Oh, well, that's a cool. I thought you were talking. Chad Kane years ago used to call that Kotex, the white with the red head, and
Oh, okay, yeah.
he uh, he 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 always loved that color. Um, but you're talking all right, and then the dark walleye. What color is that?
Essentially, that's the same pattern as the red as far as their scale or paint, and it's just brown, and then with a white belly.
Yeah, yeah. All right, I know the one
Yeah,
you're talking about there. Is that the same on all? Is that kind of the same two colors you look for on all your gliders?
pretty much. Yeah, and then if it's real stained or tannic, like Spirit would be that super green. I'll mix in some real bright fluorescence too. Can be good.
Sure, sure. No, I get it. Do you ever do any good on just plain white?
I've caught not crazy good, but I definitely catch fish. It's not. Some guys, white and black. I do really good on black, but for whatever reason, all white. And I've thrown a ton of them down here.
Yeah, no, I get it. I've had like all white down where I'm at in the south always works because of
Yep.
it seems to be good because of all the shad. And actually, I think all white has worked everywhere.
Yeah.
I and the black, I don't mind all black. That's just kind of the to use it on a super dark day and stuff.
Yep.
Uh, been that. How has I got to ask you this? How has the Wade's Wobblers been?
Pretty good, I think. Better have some with you.
Yeah, they're that's what I loved is that I love a place where people throw Wade's Wobblers because that's a bait that is, it's just an old bait that no one ever talks about, and
Oh,
or maybe they do, I don't know. Wade, I'm not being critical of your wobbler, but I love them. I absolutely love them. I love a bait that looks like a stick that works,
yeah.
and I am all about it. But yeah. Well, I tell you what, Ryan, I appreciate you coming on here. I know we rambled a lot and everything, but we do have a lot of guys who are going to be fishing there at Spirit Okoboji. What are, yeah, well, I'll tell you this because a lot of people bring their wives and stuff. What are a couple things you can do there in like Okoboji? What's something that you can go see?
Oh, first of all, there's tons of good restaurants. Options endless. And then there's, some shopping and stuff in town, like the highway that goes from Spirit Lake to Okoboji's got all the little shops and stuff. There's paintballing. Tons of
Oh,
different stuff.
I would love to shoot Gus Manty in the head with a paintball gun.
It's
That would,
unfortunate that those two aren't going to be here.
I know.
Uh,
Oh God, I would be so bad at it. I would just be, yeah. In Vietnam, I would last 1.8 seconds. I would be awful at it. But yeah, no, the restaurants there's one, guys. If you're listening, you're going to be there. Go to one called, well, God, I hope if the people still own it, Outriggers is one that we went to all the time. It was a guy and his wife owned it. They were awesome. She won the Miss Muskie contest in Chicago when she lived there. And her slogan was "Smells like muskie, tastes like Jess." That was her slogan in the Miss Muskie contest at the bar. And I'm like, this is my place. But it was a really good, it was like really good food, but called Outriggers right there in Spirit Lake. Is there, oh, I was going to ask you this. Is there the Abu place there where you can
yep.
buy
Yep. The Pier Fishing store is still there. Yep.
okay.
Right in Spirit.
Can you get pretty good deals there sometimes?
Yeah, they have some really good deals. They got bins where, their Fenwick Pro Series muskie rods, I know they've had them as low as like $100. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, they
Okay.
got good deals on quite a bit of stuff in there. So,
I will say, actually, that just while we're talking, I'm thinking about this. I just started using some of the Beast. I got one. I really liked it. I'm waiting for a handle. Should come today. And I'm waiting. I just ordered another Beast, and I could probably pick up a handle there.
I think they do have some finally. What are your thoughts on those? Because I've been running them religiously this year too, and I'm beyond impressed.
I love them. I
Yeah,
haven't broke it yet, and
that's
I haven't broke it yet. I had some friends of mine up here got the new Tranks 400s, and again they were throwing some rubber with it.
yeah.
Okay, they were throwing rubber with it. They lasted 21 days. The 400s did.
Yep.
Before they destroyed them. The Beast, I got it, Matt from Crash's Landing.
Yep.
Gave me one in March and said, "Hey, this is the new one. Try it and let me know what you think." And I bought it off of him. I used it all spring. Ended up just buying it and still using it now. I don't mind, but I want a power handle for it. I don't
Yeah.
mind the double handle. But so far I've been throwing, it's basically my stop and go reel. So my rubber jerk
Yep.
bait type that style reel. And it's been great. It still
Yeah.
sounds the way it did when I bought it. Still does good. Yeah. I mean, what's been your deal with it?
Yeah, and I haven't ran a power handle yet either. I definitely want to, especially for the lower gear and the blades. I think it'd be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But man, they're quiet, they smooth. They feel built. You hook up with a fish, and everything's solid.
Yeah. No,
And like,
I'm making it my along with the Tranks 500, I'm making it my stop and go rip reel. I've got other reels that, are strictly for bucktails and top water and straight retrieve
yep,
stuff, but no, I think they're great so far.
yep,
They've been great reels. I mean, if it makes it a year, I'm like, holy shit, that's pretty
yeah,
good.
that's a great reel for sure.
Yeah, so I just ordered another one. I'm thinking Matt should get it. Hell, he'll probably get it today and hopefully be able to ship it up here to me.
Perfect.
And I really, yeah, I think there's something with them. And I've been throwing most of my rubber stuff, my tubes and dogs, and all my jerk baits and everything have been on those. But
That's
what?
awesome.
Yeah, no, it's been good. But
And
Ryan, buddy, go ahead.
oh, go ahead. I was
No,
just
no,
gonna
no.
say the 300 they make the 7 3-1. That's what I've been running on my 2 glider rods, and it's phenomenal for that too.
Okay, so you're
Yeah.
running the 300, and it still holds enough line,
Oh
and
yeah.
it
Yep.
seems to be all right. I'll have to look at that. I'll have to. Do you use what kind of leader do you use on your gliders?
Just whatever 100-pound solid wire. I got some of the new titanium ones from God, I'm
Stealth.
blanking on. Yeah, yep, from Stealth Tackle. So
Well,
try those out.
I like it. I like it. Well, good deal, buddy. Well, hey, I really appreciate you coming on here and listening to my nonsense and talking this morning. And guys, before we end, I have to say, if you are looking to get some new musky equipment, whether it be tackle, getting a new graph, reels, rods, whatever, check out Thorn Brothers, thornbros.com. I love their rods and their rods. They don't make reels. They will sell you a reel. But the Stealth rods, I've been using them now a few years, and they're absolutely awesome. I just got a 9.6 heavy. I'm telling you, it is a awesome rod for bucktails, little cranks. Super light. If you don't want to go out to the 10-foot, which I do enjoy 10-foot rods, definitely check those out. I think you're gonna enjoy it. Also, check out my buddy down at Crash's Landing, Matt. He is got a ton of stuff. If you're ever down south, if you're around Cape Run Lake, stop in the store. They make their own baits, the lasso lures, and he's got also a good selection of rods and reels down there. So check out crasheslanding.com and for all your bait needs. But Ryan, you got anybody you want to plug or anything?
No. It'd be good. Thorn Brothers, you said that. That's my go-to as well. Those guys are awesome up there, Tucker and Ben and all those guys.
Yeah, no, they got a lot of shit, man, and they love to sell it to you.
Oh yeah.
It goes well. So, all right, Ryan. Well, hey, I will see you next week down
Yeah.
at
Looking
Spirit
forward to it.
Lake in Iowa. Just hold on here for a second for me, okay?